Hi everyone. Today I'm with a very special eminent tourism expert who has joined with us all the way from Turkey. She is Dr. Kevser Chinar. She holds a PhD in tourism management and also serves as an assistant professor in tourism of Necmettin Erbakan University of Turkey. She's the vice president of Asia in Euro-Asia Tourism Studies too. Doctor, I warmly welcome you to the video conference as the first panelist of the theme of Future of Resilience and Sustainable Tourism Development, a Way Forward. Doctor, let me ask this question to begin the session. Doctor, what do you think about the conference which is being organized by the Tourism and Hospitality Educators and Researchers Association, also known as TERA, especially in a situation where entire tourism sector in the world has been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic?
And many thanks for the invitation, first of all, to join these international events. And it is a real delight to join you online. And I also really want to thank Tourism and Hospitality Educators and Researchers Association of Asia for putting together this wonderful video conference under the theme of Future of Resilient and Sustainable Tourism. And having devoted to tourism and hospitality research, I really appreciate and value host organizations, collective experience, talent, and insights, and organizing these wonderful events in all around the world in this specialty area. And since COVID-19 has reminded the world that all mankind belong to a community with a shared future, and solidarity and cooperation are the most effective weapons to win the battle against the virus. And the more difficulties and challenges we face, the more we need exchanges and cooperation in order to build up consensus and strengthen confidence. And we need more mutual learning between different countries and cultures in order to draw strengths from others and achieve common progress. So we have to learn from each other as well. So I really give importance to such kind of international webinars and conferences. And so I really appreciate it, and it's a great honor for me to be part of that organization. Thanks to you again.
Thank you so much, Doctor. So let me ask the second question from you, Doctor.
Yes, please.
Yes. Doctor, it's quite obvious how important tourism sector to trigger the economic growth of any country, irrespective of the size of the economy. So tourism has become a catalyst to overall development of a country. So what is the current situation in Turkey in terms of tourism operations, Doctor? And are there any positive signs of reopening the country for tourists any soon?
Okay, thank you for that question. Actually, yeah, the rapid increase in the world population with human settlements, uncontrolled growth in urbanization, and high dependence on technology bring along factors that will prepare ground for such kind of crisis. And along with the globalization movement, and the tourism sector is growing at an international level to increase profitability, productivity. But however, this growth also causes businesses to face global risks such as this COVID-19 situation. And Turkey is also one of the countries confronts ongoing crises throughout its history, such as currency fluctuations, some social conflicts, as well as political problems. And these all have an impact on tourism. Furthermore, this COVID-19 has been accepted as one of the worst crises that the world has ever encountered in the last century, making every possible outcomes even worse. And the tourism industry in Turkey makes 12% of employment and 8% of GDP, according to the statistical data in 2019. And considering 2019 income from international tourism at 35 million US dollar, and Turkish tourism is likely to lose 15 million US dollar with multiplier effects if we predict the situation will continue like that for a while. And another major problem for our country is that Europe, the major market for Turkish tourism is also significantly affected by the COVID-19. And moreover, tourism demand is not based on a physical needs and can be postponed easily. But however, the recovery has already started in our country from domestic tourism and continue with recovered destinations which were usually first affected. Hence, sanitation and social distance are of primary concern in product design. And tourism industry might also face new arrangements for international travel. And despite the pandemic, the Culture and Tourism Ministry of Turkey has announced recently that since the end of the local lockdown, the country had welcomed more than 9 million visitors from various parts of the world, including many European countries. The Turkish government lifted the national health lockdown in June 2020 and started international flights operations immediately and putting major precautions in place. And Turkey is still one of the countries that there are no travel restrictions for the tourists coming all around the world. But of course, some certain flight restrictions apply for arrivals to Turkey. Visitors are required to obey healthy and safety rules, such as wearing masks, undergoing a medical examination at the airports, and those showing symptoms will have tests performed. And if passengers have a positive test result, then they will take medical treatment. And during the pandemic, Turkey's main goal is hosting the guests in the best way and ensuring that they spend their holidays in a healthy and safe environment and peacefully, rather than aiming for an increase in the number of tourists. And to ensure their safety, the guest safety, the Turkish government certified almost 5,000 facilities to host tourists by establishing strict health and hygiene requirements at airports, transport services, and accommodation. For that, the government launched the Safe Tourism Certificate in hotels, and this has become source of trust for foreign tourists who are considering coming to Turkey for vacation, for example. And regardless of the scenario, the tourism will experience, of course, a sharp and long-term drop in tourist expenditures, as this pandemic will have economic impacts. Purchasing power will be significantly reduced, and business travel will also continue to decline as virtual meetings and online systems become more established. The government offered also financial packages like tax breaks, credit facilities, and work incentives to help the industry through these difficult times. However, this period can also be seen as an opportunity to solve structural problems in the tourism industry regarding sustainability, responsible tourism, over-tourism, climate change, and destination governance.
Thank you so much. That's a great news for those who love to travel Turkey, Doctor.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can come. So there is no restriction.
Yes.
For Turkey.
So, so let me ask you the final question, Doctor.
Yes, please.
Sure. Doctor, could you please highlight the most effective strategies and the policy measures that the Turkey has taken in terms of sustainable tourism development beyond the COVID-19 pandemic?
Yes, this pandemic has highlighted the interconnectedness between actually different stakeholders, sectors, public health, visitors, gateway communities, governments, governmental and non-governmental organizations. And the recovery requires us to work and collaborate if we want prosperous businesses, healthy ecosystems, resilient livelihood, and sustainable tourism economies. And tourism is better rebuilt than before COVID-19 by not going back to normal, taking into account climate change, biodiversity loss, and more inclusive and equitable and integrated with the principles of sustainable development. And no one can predict how this pandemic will develop or the time frame for recovery, but The stakeholders can identify plausible scenarios and develop action plans aimed at sustainable tourism. In addition, market research suggests that after COVID-19, the people will be looking for more adventure travel, natural experiences, safe and quality experiences, and this shifts towards additional digital offerings along with a better balance between local, national, and international visitors. And it can increase the connection between nature and the people and facilitate conservation education, physical distances, and travel restrictions. So the way forward for tourism seems to have give importance to some dimensions, such as promoting openness to change with a new way of thinking and acting, developing a vision, and protecting the natural and cultural heritage because of its importance to the environment services of the area and people's dependence on tourism. Also restoring and rebuilding local livelihoods and the health of residents and visitors, and reframing tourism, including the resources it uses to achieve productive and healthy livelihood without harming the biodiversity on which it depends. Also, we need to focus our attention to more responsible tourism. We have to give trainings to the people, to the staff working in the tourism industry or for the visitors, or maybe even we can integrate this into curriculum at schools to educate children at an early age. But what I can say in terms of sustainability and responsible tourism and the recovery pace, I can add Asia. Asia is a bigger market, and Asian market is comparatively seems in better condition compared to Europe. Um, because of the values maybe and the traditions are more concerned, and human touch is much more in Asia. So these are all proof that the Asia will recover faster compared to European market. So we foster a consensus on a more sustainable pathway than adopt appropriate management approach. And this requires us to rethink visitor experiences, community livelihoods, protected area policies, and the paradigm. And finally, this is not the first major public health emergency we have experienced and the mankind has encountered. And it will not certainly not be the last one. So what the solution is, countries must stand united to fight this battle hand in hand.
Yes.
So
Yes.
thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your very comprehensive explanation, Doctor. I think the entire world can learn a lot from Turkish tourism and in terms of policy measures and the steps taken by the Turkish authorities. So thank you
And
so
we all learn from each other. We all learn from each other, actually. So we will take the best practices. So this is why it is important
That's
to get
the point of
united.
organizing a video conference like this, Doctor. And with that, I would like to wrap up the session with Dr. Kevsa. And thank you so much for amazing contribution throughout the conference.